Hey everyone, and welcome back to Live Talk direct from Germany. I greet you all, and direct from Mexico. Ana, how you
Hi,
doing?
hola, ¿cómo
Hola.
estás?
Muy bien,
Doing,
gracias.
yes, good.
It's good to see you again.
Yes, thank you. You
You
too.
did, you're doing well?
Yes, I'm doing very well. How
Yeah.
are you, Armando? How was your
Um,
week?
and my week was good. My week is
Good.
good. Too much to do, but that's life.
Mm-hmm. It's every day for all of us.
That's
Yes.
right. We welcome you. People, all of our viewers, welcome to our live talk. We're happy to have you here. And last week we touched on a very interesting topic, conditioning, and today we are going to continue on the second part of it. So we are happy that you are here, and right, Anna, and
Yes.
so let's just jump in, right away. There is much we can cover today. And before I forget, let me say that again. Uh, if you are interested, I mean, you already know who Anna is. My good friend Anna. She is a coach, a life coach, and all of her contact information is in the description box. So if you are interested in her services, you can get in touch with her using the links that I have included. And it can be done online, right, Anna? I mean, how do you
Yeah.
offer your services? Can you maybe like a couple of words on that?
Virtual is the way that we're doing everything these days, especially since I have moved to Mexico from the United States in the last year. Pretty much everything is online.
Mhm.
And like you said last week, we have a global audience these days.
That's right.
Whether I'm doing support group work, I have people from all over the country, all over the world that join those sessions, or one-on-one time with a client. It works out better for people, and they don't have to, they don't have to perform. They don't have to get dressed and put themselves together. You can be laying in bed and doing a group or whatnot. And that's the way I love people to just show up as their authentic self. And
Okay.
so and through the virtual community, I think we're able to do that in a different way these
Right.
days. So everything's virtual. So yes, just, let me know, if you want to contact me and just say, hey, I saw you, with Armando, whatever, and we can connect. So
Awesome.
thank you for this
So,
platform, Armando.
oh, I'm happy that you are here. This is just great. I mean, I'm happy and grateful. And you offer group sessions and also individual one-on-one, right?
So I do group work. I do also on the side, I have do group work through a company called Circles Up, which
Mhm.
is support group for people. It's very specific. They're going through a grief of some sort, a loss of a loved
Mhm.
one, spouse, child,
Mhm.
um, and or narcissistic
Mhm.
relationship, separation, divorce. So those are the things that they tend to focus on.
Okay.
And then, but I do a lot of other work one-on-one with people. So you get that connection. You get to really know your clients
Right.
in a very personal way. And I really like that type of work as well because it's like talking to a friend, you
That's right.
know. And it is a lot of life talk, and people sometimes they just need to hear themselves say it, or they
Hmm.
need to bounce an idea off of you because
Hmm.
people they come to the table, Armando, with so much knowledge. It's their journey, it's their life. They have the resources, they have the experience, they have the tools. It's just sometimes they just need somebody to help them get through the weeds and sort it out. And that's what I love to do. I love
Right.
to do that with people. I love to mentor them, and and be their cheerleader.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. That's wonderful. So, people, if any one of you are in need of help, get in touch with Anna, or if you know someone. Uh,
Yep.
like I said before, the contact information is in the description box. Well, Anna, let's get going with our subject today. This is our second
Mm-hmm.
part, and who knows, maybe we'll do more depending on how much feedback we get from our views, right? Last week we talked about condition and because it's a huge subject,
Mhm.
we thought, why not? We need to maybe like do a couple of things or cover another couple of very important points. So last week we departed on we talked about you mentioned that awareness and how important awareness that was. I mean, that was like
Mhm.
your last few words sort of encouragement for our audience. Uh, can we maybe like a quick recap? I mean, why is awareness so important uh, in regard to these condition situations topic?
Well, I think, Armando, I think awareness is a key for everything in life
Hmm.
because without awareness, you have no self-introspection
Hmm.
and we can't really reflect on our experiences if we're not aware of them, if we're not really conscious of why do I think the way I think? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? Why
Right.
am I behaving the way I'm behaving? Why did this happen to me? Or why did this person, say this? We have there's no starting point without a conscious awareness of it.
Hmm. Yes.
And I think that's the key to everything.
Hmm.
And so then when we have awareness, then we can start connecting the dots, so to speak, of building the life that we want
Hmm.
based off of being aware of, what we want, what we don't want, what we're experiencing, why we're experiencing it. To me, it's the basis for everything.
So with that awareness, it is really well. I guess we can function in life. I mean, we go
Yeah,
through
you
the
can. You can be on autopilot.
we can
You,
go on autopilot. That's right. That's
hmm.
I like that. We just go with emotion, right? But
Yep.
if we want to, if I'm understanding you well, if we want to be to live a life, a content life, a successful life, a joyful, fulfilled life, we need to be really aware of our.
I think so.
Okay.
That's my opinion. That's my
Well.
opinion. Some people get by on autopilot, but sometimes I worry or I think, oh, are they living the best version of their lives that they
Hmm.
could live? Are they truly living up to potential? Am I living up to potential? Am
Hmm.
I the best version of myself that I could be?
Yes.
Mhm.
This is interesting because I would like to hear your thoughts on this, and I'm sure the audience as well. On I do some teaching on the side, but I
Mhm.
working with my clients uh, uh, and um, and teaching ethics to my students. Um, we touch on this subject, and I I I emphasize critical thinking um, because I think it is key if we want to be aware. It comes a point in life where when we every one of us should stop and think and reevaluate their set of values. I mean, and a very basic question, why do I believe what I believe? Why do I do what I do? Right? And every one of us is the result of many influences, right? I mean, many things influence our lives. The books we read, the TV shows we watch,
Yep.
our circle of friends, our family, and so on and so forth, right? The country we live, even the city where we live, and
Yes.
if we push a little bit more, the neighborhood in the city where we live,
Yes.
they play,
Yes.
so
Yes.
everything plays a role, right? What do you think about
Mhm. Oh, I totally agree. I mean, it's all the way from micro to macro.
that? Hmm.
Um, everything influences us, in some way, shape, or form. I mean, to different degrees, obviously. Some things will
Yes.
just pass by us and it's like, oh yeah, okay, and we don't absorb that. But what our family members tend to that what they say or their opinion about us or
Right.
something that we're involved that tends to matter.
Right.
Or our circle of friends, if somebody disapproves of something, where
Mm.
oh we
Mm.
have a reaction to that. We don't
Right.
have to accept it, but they influence us or their
Mm.
behavior or their trajectory. It has an impact on us. And again, I totally agree. Our neighborhood where we live, I just moved from the Yucatan,
Hmm.
in Merida and in Mexico after being there almost a year. That's on the East Coast. It's by Cancun for those people who don't know. And then I just moved literally across the country,
Yeah.
basically in a straight line to the West Coast in Puerto Vallarta.
Right.
So you cannot be more different. It's the atmosphere is different, the people are different, the food is different,
Mm.
the energy is different.
The vibe is different, right?
It's the vibe is completely different.
Mm.
I have a definite preference for one over the other.
Okay.
And so it's this environment that I'm in now is my preference.
Okay.
It is, I can tell you, it's already influencing me in a major way. The shift in my life is so interesting, and it seems like it's on a fast track trajectory.
Interesting.
So it's very interesting. And I've been here a month today.
Right.
So you
Hey,
are with me on my one
congratulations.
month anniversary. Yes,
Yeah.
una mesa.
Woo.
So so a message um so it's very much influencing my life, and the circle of people that I have already surrounded myself with are I can feel the influence, and I can feel and I can see the shift in them kind of leading me because I'm like the baby, right? I'm the new kid. And so
The new kid on the block.
the new kid on the block. So I can see and feel the influence there.
Right.
So it's a totally different experience. So I completely agree with what you said.
But this is a great example because I think the principle applies to every other area. The books we read. I
Hmm.
mean, it has you made a decision, right? You made a decision. I'm gonna move from Yucatan to Puerto Vallarta, and I'm wondering, um, and I encourage my students to do that. Can we do that as well with, well, I can choose the books I read. I can choose the music I listen to. I can choose the people I talk to. I can choose the hobbies that I practice, and so on and so forth. Right? We can choose, but for that we have to be aware. According to what you're saying, we need to somehow open the eyes, right, and say like, well, why do I live here? But like you
Hmm.
said, you're like, well, I need a change, and you have your reasoning for that, right? But you begin to think and to wonder, right? And
Yep.
why is my life? This is what I have experienced, and tell me what you think. In my coaching here in Germany, I sometimes I work with underprivileged people that they just for some reason or another, they can find a job, they have financial problems, they go through family, you know they just they go through a deep
Yes.
hole, sometimes for many years, right? And it just came on, why do these people keep making the same mistake over and over and over again? And I agree, absolutely with you. It has to do with uh, maybe like awareness, but maybe like not taking a break. And this is very simplistic and an overall generalization. But I would like to hear what you have to say about that, because I think they don't know. First of all, they don't know how to. How do I take a break and reevaluate my life and
Hmm.
see what changes can I make? What do you think?
I think it's so true. I think, for a lot of people, the thought of, doing that is daunting, or they think, oh, I have
Mm.
to meditate or I have to journal. Those are the two things that
Right. I, the image froze. Can you hear me?
okay.
So we're back. I mean, we had a couple of we had a bit of a technical problem with the connection, internet connection, but we're back online. So Anna, you were saying, I mean, some people are afraid of. Go ahead.
Well, I think a lot of times people are, it's daunting,
Hmm.
and like I said, we always tell people, oh, in order to be introspective, you need to meditate and
Right.
journal. Like
Hmm.
those are the only two things in life. But for a lot of people, it feels so overwhelming. It's like, I liken it to overhauling your car, driving down the expressway, going 90 miles an hour. and
Mm.
you don't have time to pull off and do a pit stop and a tire change and all this.
Yes.
And so it feels very daunting because we don't want to take a step back in life sometimes.
Hmm.
And I think for other people, you had mentioned, helping, disadvantaged people. I think sometimes in those situations, because I spent most of my career at doing the same thing, working with homeless individuals and families. We talked about this before, but I think a lot of times for many of us, regardless of our socioeconomic status and educational status, we allow ourselves to be swept along the river of life without any paddles, and we just go. And so there's no real clear plan or path.
Right.
And so we just swept along. And so I think, and sometimes you feel like you're drowning.
Right.
So I think that, it can be panicky, but then also doing allowing yourself, whether it's, let's say it's a half hour every day. I mean, let's
Right.
be realistic.
Right.
Nobody's going to take hours out of their day.
No.
Most people, they don't have it. But even if you just sit with a cup of coffee in the morning and you just, you look out, you're sitting on your deck or you're sitting in your living room and you just kind of start, thinking about your path or, setting your intention for the day.
Hmm.
All of those things create an awareness, allowing yourself to have the space and the grace. We do not give ourselves grace, Armando, to say, gosh, I'm reflecting on, something that happened yesterday. Why did it get to that level? Or what did I contribute to this argument I had with my coworker? Or, and allowing ourselves to step back without judgment. That's the hard part.
Yes.
To say, okay, this was my reaction, good, bad, or different, like why? And so I think just allowing ourselves just a few minutes at a time, even to unpack, something that's happened to us. And I always say this with everything, in any exercise you do, any practice you do, start with the easy, start with
Okay.
the easiest thing first.
Hmm.
Something that's not, how did I end up in a divorce? Like, don't start like from some major traumatic, catastrophic situation.
Right.
Let's start with baby steps, okay? Especially if you're new to
Right.
kind of self-reflection. And don't say, oh, I'm going to carve out an hour and a half of my time. No, you're not. Because it's like when I start working out and I think, oh, I'm going to do this, 5 days a week. Okay, how about we start with two?
Mm.
And we just baby step it, start with the easiest thing, because then it's, we take a breath, like, oh, I did that, I can do that, okay, all right, you have a success, and then you build on that. And it's
Hmm.
even with awareness, you have to start with the easy stuff and have some successes, because it's scary looking inward.
Right.
It's really scary because we find, if you look for the fly in the ointment, Armando, you will find it.
Yes.
And so, and people, it's scary to have that because we judge ourselves. We
Yeah.
judge our behavior. We judge, um, we don't give ourselves grace. We can give each other grace and we tell each other
Right.
that, but then we have a hard time doing it ourselves as people.
That's so interesting. It is very true. I mean, how often, we are our worst critics, right? And we are sometimes really harsh with ourselves. You just remind me of something as I was listening to you, and I think it's exactly what you're saying. I remember in my university years and my college years in the States, uh, we had a house. We several guys. We lived in a townhouse, uh, during our college years, and we were five of us, right? And so everyone had their own room in that house. And I remember going into one. I wanted to visit one of my roommates or my housemates, and as I went into the room, he was just laying there, quiet on his bed, no music, nothing. He was just laying there looking at the ceiling, and so like, and he was a very rambunctious and very 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 energetic type of person. I mean, the whole day, he always going and happy and this, and so it was a very weird picture
Mm-hmm.
for me to see, like, what's happening. Are you okay? Are you doing well? So like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, why, so why are you just there quiet, and and he's like, this is what I do at the end of the day. I just lay down and I just go through my day. you know, and I play it in my head and meditate, I guess, and filtrate everything. So that was for me. So that impacted my life. Like, wow, yes, I mean, yes, that's healthy. It's
Mm-hmm.
just to take a break and think about your day. How did it went in the quietness of your room?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess stillness is a healthy thing, right?
Yeah, I think so. But I think again, we go back to last week's discussion about condition. We're conditioned by society
Hmm.
that, you have to be in motion all the time or else you're lazy or you're
Yeah.
non-productive
Hmm.
or, we just are. I mean, so it's not a normal state for many of us.
Hmm.
We get so distracted and we become addicted to the distractions in life that it's very difficult to as I would say, simmer down biscuit, just settle
Yes.
down into yourself and be alone with ourselves. And so many people are afraid of that space.
So we're like the hamster and the hamster wheel, right?
Yes.
I
Yep.
was going, 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 going. I mean,
Yep.
moving, but not really making progress. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. How
Mhm.
powerful is that, right? Just.
It's I mean, I can think of there is a situation in a work environment that I had, and the company, they're in meetings all the time, all the time, all the time. And I remember one of my mentors, she would get on a call with me. I had 15 minutes every week,
Hmm.
15 minutes. She had scheduled probably 17 to 18 meetings a day, every day. 17 to 18 minutes. So her days were broken down by like 15-minute to half-hour intervals. And I can remember having conversations with her, and I thought, you're not listening to anything that's being said here. You're
Right.
checking a box because she's been made to have all of these meetings. She's
Right.
just a body in a chair going from one to the next to the next. Now, this is not through any fault of her own. This is
Yeah.
how the corporate structure was
Right.
created,
It's
and
what is
that was the
demanded.
expectation. It was
Mhm.
mandated. And at the end of the day, after a period of time, she hit a wall and completely crashed because
Yeah.
nothing really was getting done. It was just going through the motions and then expecting these people to perform the actual job duties in between the meetings. Well, there's only 24 hours in a day, every day.
Right. Right.
So, but again, it's the hamster wheel to the point where sometimes there's a huge time difference between myself and her. It would be 3 o'clock in the morning. She'd be in her bed, in her pajamas, having a phone call with me. I mean, come on, that isn't realistic, and nothing's really getting done.
Hmm.
And it showed the end result of the product and the company, it showed.
Right.
So, but it's that hamster wheel of expectations.
At what cost? Right.
At what cost? It cost her her job,
Right.
and it
Right.
cost her her mental health.
Yes, because it's just interesting. We just talked a couple of weeks ago with Moises, our other co-host,
Mm-hmm.
in the Spanish version of Live Talk, and we just talk about that. Like sometimes we invest everything in our job, in our in our career or whatever, but then we'll pay the bill later on, and sometimes the bill is too high, and we have, but now we have the time to reconsider, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
We can take the time to, like, is this worth it? Is it worth it, what I'm living right in my life?
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it, the path that I'm walking right now on, and so forth? Wow,
It's
yeah,
basically, Armando, it's basically a cost benefit assessment.
right.
What is the cost versus what is the benefit? And if
Mm.
your cost is so high and and it outweighs the benefit of what you're doing, run, don't walk.
Yes,
Run
yes,
away,
right,
because it's not worth it. And a lot of time the cost is our soul, our
right.
relationships, the things that make life rich and complex and satisfying. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of times that is the cost to us.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually comes down to, Armando, money.
Mm-hmm.
That we tend to look at things from the lens of finances
Yeah.
versus, because those are the things that drive us to have 17 meetings a day.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother didn't put that on you. That's outside. It's an outside influence, but we feel pressure to perform that.
Right.
So And that's what it tends to boil down to. And
Right,
it's
money.
so sad that we wrap our lives around that at the cost of so much of our own happiness and joy and peace.
And I guess, everyone has to make that decision on their own. I mean,
Yes.
how
Yep.
much from what do I want, and also to differentiate between that what I want and that which I need.
Yep.
And this very two different things, right? And I remember a song from, I think this is the Rolling Stones, and one of the lines in that song, I forgot which song that was, but I remember the line. It's like, we don't always get what we want,
Yep.
but we always get what we need.
Yes.
And I think we should emphasize that. So like to differentiate, and then to go for that which we for that. And nothing wrong with things that we want. If we can achieve that, why not?
Hmm.
But assess the cost.
Yeah.
What do you said? The cost and
It's a cost benefit
cost
assessment,
benefit
really.
assessment,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
uh, and everyone is different. And but
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. We all are. And we can
yeah,
all handle different levels of stress.
right,
And we all have different priorities.
right,
So, but if you are stuck in a space or you're feeling drained, and you've hit a wall, I think it's a great time to do an assessment of your
right.
life and kind of take stock of
And,
what you want versus what you need versus where you at versus where you want to be.
and that's what why we always advise people, seek for help, whether there is a spiritual counselor, a psychologist, a coach, such as Anna. Sometimes we need help. Sometimes we are aware enough, I need help, but we don't know how to start. Well,
Yep.
asking for help is a good way to get going, right?
Hmm.
And we encourage you to do that. These life talks, our intention is to hopefully add some value to your lives, and hopefully encourage you, at least that, encourage you to seek for help if you need that, right, Anna? Anna,
Oh, absolutely.
we're coming to a close. We're coming to an end of one more session, one more talk, live talk session. Um, as is our custom, as we do every session. Uh, what would you give our audience today as we depart from this session? What can they take with them? Something positive, something to think about, something to meditate about.
I think, my thought that just popped into my head is one of always encouragement. Um, you may not be where you want to be, but you are on a path.
Mm,
And, the fact that even that you're listening today and you're taking in, this conversation, um, you are not where you used to be and you can get there. If you want to change your life, if you are burned out, if you are feeling drained, or, maybe you're feeling toxicity, whatever it is, you can change it. It can happen for you. We just need to, do a little tweaking here and there.
mm,
But, you are worthy, you are good enough, and you can achieve the life that you want. You really can.
wonderful, great people, my friends. I repeat it again. If you are interested in Anna's coaching services, her contact information is in the description box. Anna, thank you very much
Thank
again.
you
It
so
was it
much.
was a joy talking to you as usual, and to our audience. We'll be back next week. Have a
Bye, guys.
blessed and successful week. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.